Welcome to Podcast Coaching for Kingdom Entrepreneurs. I'm Kristin Chadwick, your podcast coach on this transformative podcasting journey. Our mission, empower Kingdom entrepreneurs to confidently launch and grow podcasts, fostering a journey of being seen, being heard, being known, and making a lasting kingdom impact. This is Podcast Coaching for Kingdom Entrepreneurs. Your voice matters. Hey friends. All right, here's your question of the day. Do you know what business model is the top business model for a podcast? If you guessed coaching or consulting, you are correct. According to our brand new study from Podcast Marketing Academy, they have found that 25% of the people that they interviewed, it was over 500 people that they interviewed, podcasters, found that they have a coaching or a consultant business along with their podcast to help their business model. The second one is freelance service provider. That's at 20%. And dropping down to 13% is advertising. That means, my friend, the most opportune thing that you can do to create an income for your podcast, which I have been saying all last fall. If you haven't listened to any of that series, the podcast monetization series, I encourage you to go back and take a listen. The number one way that you are going to produce income through your show is through having a coaching or consultant business in your business and your podcast. Today, I have brought in Buki, Ekeowa, and she is a kingdom wealth entrepreneur. She loves talking about wealth conversations. She loves talking about strategy. She loves talking about leads and just all around building your kingdom business. And I am so excited she is with me today. She is personally a dear mentor of mine and has been for the last few years. And we are both passionate about setting you up well as podcasters. And I know that some of you are in a position of you're just starting a podcast or you're inside of our podcast boot camp. And you are like, okay, Kristin, how am I going to make a business model off of this ministry idea I have or this message or this training that I have? And this whole episode is for you. You may be in that position. If you are a current podcaster, you are a half year in, you are a full year in, you're 2 years in, maybe you're in a rebrand. This episode is for you. We talk a lot about low ticket offers, high ticket offers. How do you funnel your people from your podcast into your email list or into your products that you're going to offer, or perhaps a membership? All of those things. We talk about all of these things. We talk about possible mistakes that we've seen, some ideas that you can do. And this episode is really going to help you on your podcasting journey, no matter where you're at, whether you're a beginner, you're in the middle of it, you're in the middle of a rebrand. This is all for you. So go ahead and listen today. We're going to give you 5 income streams that any coach, any consultant, any service provider, any leader, ministry teacher can provide. All right, here we go. Here is Buki Ekeowa. All right, welcome you guys. I am so glad you're here. I have Buki here with me, of course, as you've heard in the intro. And by the time you're hearing this, it is January 8th or somewhere past that point. And that means there is a slew of brand new podcasters. And the people that I serve are those coaches, those service providers, those female entrepreneurs that are out there ready to take on 2024. And I know that a lot of them are asking that question of, okay, Kristin, how am I going to bring in income as a coach? How am I going to do this? How am I going to make sure that my podcast is taken care of? I can pay for somebody to do my podcast, or at least bring in some income for my family, my lifestyle, ministry, business, whatever. And I am so excited, Buki, that you are such an expert in this area of providing ideas and having such confidence that people can really draw in income as a coach. So we're gonna just take it off. I mean, we're gonna go all in.
Yes,
So
yes.
bring those 5 income ideas and strategies for coaches here today.
Okay, so hi everyone, for sure. So I'm going to share mine, but I'll share them straight away, and you can change them and tweak them in the way that you want to do them in your own way. But some straight off the back, as a coach, coaching obviously is
Yeah.
your first stream of income. Okay, so obviously you can start with the coaching, and that's where I guess probably your bulk of your income will come from in terms of you coaching. But I think the reason why I didn't want to only rely on the coaching aspects, I mean, for the mums out there that have got other responsibilities and things going on, it's nice to have other income streams that's coming in that's not exchanging time for money per se, right? So that's one of the reasons why actually I did explore other ways I could build income. So we have the coaching, which obviously could be one-to-one or group, and that's obviously one stream of income. And then also I kind of break that down into intensives. So intensives where it's more kind of, I always tell my clients that you could just take your main coaching program and just take one transformation from it and turn it into like a half day, a one-on-one half day. It's like I call it a quick cash offer, right? So it's like, you could just kind of break down your coaching into different elements and then offer intensives. They're quite really good for bringing in income. And that's where you're still exchanging time for money in that way still, but it's still, a good way to increase your income. And the other things that I do are more on the low ticket level, which you can still do this on a high ticket if you want to, but I do this on low ticket mainly for the automation aspect of it, is low ticket memberships, low ticket courses, and low ticket products. So currently have all of those running in my business right now, and all of them are on automation, for most part of it on the low ticket side.
Oh man.
That's what we
Okay.
started off.
We're going to dig into that because I know that if you are either just starting a podcast or podcasting is in your wheelhouse of opportunities to bring people into your space, we are all limited on time and energy, right? So that
Definitely, for sure.
automation piece is so important. So I would love for you to dig in because we've talked about in 2023 in the fall, we talked about memberships and courses and products, but I feel like you bring a different aspect to
Mm.
the conversation of how you do this so well. So when you are starting out as a coach and trying to figure out how do I do what do I how do I decide on do I do a membership first or a course or a product? What would you recommend?
So, funny enough, I do still recommend if you're starting out to kind of start with the coaching, right? And I'll tell you
Okay.
why. Start with the coaching first because you're going to charge slightly more than you would low ticket products because it gives you that leverage of having income coming into your business. So you can at least have cash flow. Because obviously, when I say low ticket, $29, $30, you need a lot of that coming in first. Unless, here's the caveat now, unless you have a bit of a budget to go on ads in the beginning, then you could do this strategy in the beginning. All right. So if you don't have that budget at the moment, then you might want to start with the high ticket coaching to bring that income in. So that's why I say you could start with the coaching first, just for
Mhm.
the bringing in the bulk income.
Yeah.
And if you don't need that and you have some money to kind of help with ads, because why I say that is because the way I do it with the low ticket funnel, so it's all a funnel. So everything, the low ticket products, the low ticket courses, low ticket memberships, it's all in a funnel. I just literally let it work itself, but it pays for itself. That's the beauty of it, is that it pays for itself. So it's
Yeah.
not a case where you're kind of like, people get scared of Facebook ads because it could be quite expensive, and it can be quite expensive. But if you know what you're doing and you understand how to actually build,
Mm.
well, you could actually grow your audience for free. So I actually use my low ticket product line for audience growth, for free audience growth on Autopilot, and make money on the back of it. So we are still in profit, but it more bigger than that, it's building up an audience for people who are a good fit for coaching. And so when coaching is right, you have a list of people that you're building up that are kind of right. They're listening to my YouTube, my podcast, right? You're nurturing them, because obviously the high ticket, it's more kind of, they have to kind of be nurtured for a while. And on the low ticket end, it's a no-brainer. So what you're doing there is kind of, rather than a free lead magnet, you're kind of bringing in a low ticket product to the mix, whereby it's a no-brainer. Like it's my lowest ticket product is $7, like literally, like, and
it is
it
low.
sells all day every day, like, so exactly. So I'm not trying to be a millionaire for $7, but it does a good job, right? It does a good job of bringing the right people in, and it pays. But when we add that with other products and other courses in that sales system, in that funnel, then it does a fantastic job of just being a behind the scenes thing that is bringing in income, growing your audience on autopilot, while you could have time to do what you need to do, right? So it's amazing. It's good to do if you can do.
Yes.
Basically.
Oh, I think it's such a brilliant avenue of just self-sustaining and building at the same time. And so I know somebody is listening and they're like, well, Buki, I just started my podcast. I just started my coaching business. How do I even find a client?
Right. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, well, it's just a good one I can answer, because I have many people that come to me that are trying to find their first client, so it's okay. And I was sharing today, actually, so when it comes to your first client, okay, so we're talking about it before this session, visibility is key. Okay, they need to know you exist. All right, so you can't be hiding behind the scenes and praying that they're going to come and hoping and wishing. You have to be out there, and they have to see that you can deliver. To get clients fast, I recommend getting as quick as you can, getting people the transformation. So getting, like, offering your services at a lower price to get that testimonial from you helping them. And then obviously the more of those that you have, it will help you to really increase sales quicker, because people can see that you can deliver, right? Because the world we are in today, we're coming 2024, we're starting off, like, the internet's not going away, it's only going to grow. People say it's saturated. It's not saturated. It's just busy. It's people. I say it's more busy than saturated. And I say, well, how do I then stand out? Well, how do I stand out? Because people need to know that they can trust me. Well, how can they trust me? Well, they need to know that I can deliver. And how do they do that? They have to then see that I can deliver. I was actually talking about that today, about looking at Jesus as an example, but transformation, like transforming lives, is part of your marketing strategy. Transform lives in the process of your speaking, your content, and it will speak for you. And as you're doing that, that will help you to get clients very quickly. That's what I would say to people, because then it's like you're not your only mouthpiece. The work that you do is your mouthpiece, and that helps you to sell.
Yeah, I love that. You're not your only mouthpiece. That's a ding.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and you have to be willing to start small and
Yes,
to start in a
exactly.
place of, hey, maybe it's a free client and then you bump it up to a quarter of your dream price to half of your price
Yeah.
and just starting there and then being able to hear that transformation coming out of your client's mouth, and you get to share it on your podcast too, of that transformation and how all of that is happening too.
It's so rewarding as well, and it increases your confidence as a coach as well, trying to get your first client, that confidence to kind of, sell to somebody, because actually you're someone's investing in you. If
Mhm.
it's your first time, you want to do all that you can to help them to win. I always look at it that way, like, how can I help you to win? I really want you to win. And then it's like you're all in with that person. When they get the result, you're like, it's like, yes, it's a really good feeling for you as the coach as well. And it just helps your business to really grow and springboard from there. So definitely that's how you do it.
That is super helpful. And so say there's a podcaster they are trucking along, they have a good amount of clients and they're starting on this automation journey. Can you give a specific example? Maybe there's let's bring a fictional character of a fitness trainer that has a podcast, has clients. How does she walk through that process of the automation funnel, that whole step? process?
Okay, so you got to think through so we call it the top of funnel. What's going to be at the top first? Like we want to kind of think about your ideal client. So you've had clients already. Now think about who's your best client, right? Who is the client that you want to keep attracting? Okay, and then think about that person and think about, okay, what does that person need at a lower level? That what are the kind of the things that what can you produce at a lower level that person needs that potentially could be a freebie, but if you maybe made it a bit more valuable, it could be a paid product, right? So, and it's always want to be like a specific thing. So a specific transformation. So for example, with the health coach, for example, what works really well in that niche are things like meal planners for a specific transformation of the body. So if you maybe let you focus on, I don't know, belly fat or diabetes, or you have a specific area of transformation, then you want to produce something that's tangible, that's easy to use, that's exciting, that they could just take, grab, and from that, they could go to your next thing. So you're thinking about products that are valuable, that they can use there and then, that they can have takeaways from there and then, that you can turn into something that's be a paid product. So planners and that kind of thing work really well generally, because it's just something they can just kind of a guidance for them in their weight loss journey, right? So we'd start with choosing like a kind of low ticket product. From there, you're thinking about, okay, then what is a similar product or maybe a training alongside that you can upsell to bump up. We call it a bump offer, right? So you have the main product on the front end. You have a bump offer, which is typically going to be either another product or it could be like a mini course, right? So let's just say, let me just give you an example of my price range on that mini funnel is like $7 up front. And then the bump offer, they choose to tick that bump offer, it's a $27 or $29 products, right? So by the time you've got those two, that's not too bad, right? And then you have another, what we call one-time only offer, which could be anywhere between, let's say, anywhere between like $47 and $300, really. You could do a one-time offer anywhere between that price, but depending on what it is, it could be like a really valuable course that you've for that particular page, you've reduced the price on it, maybe. And obviously with those, you have to have a kind of more of a sales page with that testimonial, all that kind of thing. But at least it's an option for you. So you can basically in one funnel have anywhere between what 50 to 100 to $300-400 that's on autopilot per customer, depending on obviously what you're selling. So that's kind of how. So what we want to do in all those products basically is make them relatable. That's the key thing. Relate them all together as one, so that there's synergy between that funnel.
I think that's so lost in a lot of people's offers. Like it feels a little disjointed. And
Yeah.
so I think that's helpful for people, especially maybe you're not quite there yet, or you are there yet and you've already started and you're like, okay, I gotta redo this because it's got to make sense from here to step 1 to step 2 to step 3 to step 4, and have a through line basically through your products. That totally makes sense.
What most people do is that they just think about all the things that they actually have and they just try and bundle it together and try and make it sell. It doesn't work like that. It won't work because like it's just exactly something, there's no synergy. And so people will get confused along the way. So you have to really think through it. So it's like, I call it like building your arc. It's kind of like, it does take a bit of time to actually build it, but once it's built, it's a game changer. Like literally I've been running mine now since May. I don't plan on stopping it. Let it continue to to just go out there, right? And I had one before that, so I've seen different price points of doing it in different ways. So there are kind of sweet spots when it comes to pricing. So it's really about understanding that the main goal really from a low ticket funnel, should I say, is not initially to kind of make tons of money, right? The main goal is to grow your audience, to be profitable, and then to understand how to nurture that into your bigger program. That's the main goal. However, it could indeed be a nice little cash cow, which it kind of is, like, as well. So having the right mindset towards it as well.
That's so good. Okay. I feel like I could go in so many different directions.
Yeah, there's a lot there, right?
So in your experience, because I just want to, and I probably will say this in the intro too, but Buki has been a part of my online world since 2020. I think I found you.
Oh, wow.
I can't remember how we got connected, but I joined your Facebook group,
Yeah.
and it's a great example of just keep putting stuff out there because I adore Buki. There's something
Oh,
about you that I hear so clearly from Holy Spirit through you, your teaching and your truth and your showing up consistently over and over again that I am in her funnel. So I am a product of walking this out slowly, step by step by step,
wow.
and it is so worth it. And so I think that whoever is listening, if you're in that position, there's patience, there is
Yes.
offering transformation, there's that servant heartedness, and just speaking
Yeah.
truth over and over again is so valuable. And that know, like, trust factor, it's real. It's very much real. Yeah.
It you actually brought another point to the table. Thank you so much, Kristin. God bless you, honestly. But it's so true what you said. There's two things you said is that drew my attention. Consistency.
Yes.
Like it's so important. Like, so if you're listening to this, especially starting out, you could easily it could be so easy to get discouraged in the beginning.
Hmm.
It's so easy to do that. It's like it's not happening, it's not working. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna stop.
Yes.
Stop. If you're listening, don't stop. Like there's power in consistency. You're building for the long. If you have a longevity mindset, you're building for the long term. It's exactly that. Just keep on, keep going, keep going, keep going. Especially if you have God, right? You feel like God has called you or something. It's something that you just kind of, you know what? I'm just gonna trust, believe, and keep going. There's
Mhm.
definitely a light at the end of the tunnel. So the consistency thing is so important. The other thing is the what that does, it does nurture. So actually the product, it does that nurturing behind the scenes. So as much as I do show up live quite regularly, because that's what I
Yes,
do,
you
but actually the products do the nurturing, because actually you put your expertise in there, you show up, you put, it's low ticket but it's high value.
do. Mm,
You put high, it's not, it's because it's low price doesn't mean don't stuff on the value. Make it valuable, because they're going to remember you for that, and they're
yeah.
going to say, oh wow, if I got all that value for just this, I wonder what her other stuff is like. And so they're gonna keep on like leaning in and see, actually, I might try that. I might try that. I might try that. Right. Not
Yep.
everyone will, but it definitely does work that way. And so you're building a sustainable business this way. And this is, I mean, that's the thing that caught me from what you said. It's like I'm building for the long term. This is not just a
Yeah.
get rich quick, or it's not quick, is it? It's just like it's not kind of like it's like it's not, let me just build this business and make some money. No, I'm building for my children, building for my children. I'm building, it's a long-term game. We were talking about YouTube just now before we came on, and like
Mhm.
YouTube is a long-term game. Like,
Yeah.
I heard most of the YouTube experts are like, listen, if you just do one video a day for 10 years, and one a week, sorry, one video a week, sorry, one video a week for 10 years, you are going to grow as an individual and you're going to grow a great channel. 10 years feels like a long time, but the time is going to go anyway. So
Yeah.
why not invest that time in something that's going to be productive, that's going to definitely bear you fruit? So in terms of building your business, if it takes you a year to build your funnel, or 6 months to build your funnel, or whatever it takes, you're building a structure that will speak for you, right? So that's what I would say, because literally I've built this. It took me not long, but I started building out these kind of funnels from 2020, and they were
Yeah.
testing and didn't work as well as I wanted it to. And tried again, didn't work as I wanted it to. And now I've got one that really works really well. So it's like, it wasn't just off the back of the first time I did it. It's because I've done it, flopped, done it, flopped.
Yes. That's real.
And now because it actually works. Glory to God.
Yes.
That's
What
real, right?
yes,
That's real talk.
I know. I have you might know Kelly Thompson, but she's been on the show and she shared something I will never forget. She was like, entrepreneurship is a contact sport. And I was like, yes, yes, it is. And that's what
I
it
love
makes me
that.
think of is anybody who's in this field, whether you're a podcaster who has a ministry, you're a service provider, you're an entrepreneur, it's all about that. Oh, that didn't work. We'll try this. Nope, that didn't work. We're going to try this. But it is consistently trying something
Yes.
over
Yes.
and over and over
Yes.
again.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I love that. It's a contact sport.
It
It
is.
is. That's
Sometimes you
why I
feel
love
like
sharing
you
a
get
lot
punched.
about mindset. I do a lot of mindset work on my podcast and my YouTube because that it's a lot. It's really a lot about mindset. You have to have the right mindset to be an entrepreneur. You have to really kind of approach it with the right mindset and with tenacity and just resilience and just kind of like know that almost like expect these things to happen. So you just forge forward regardless of what you face.
Mhm.
So yeah, contact sport. Love that.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so speaking of contact sport and failure, is there like any common threads that you see, maybe mistakes, or you're like, oh, if I could just share with coaches in this journey of these income streams, maybe mistakes that you've had or you have witnessed and that you want to call out or speak to?
I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily. I've seen threads and discussions about low ticket or high ticket.
Mm,
What comes first, right? That's gonna different has their different. Everyone's people have different opinions on that. I've heard low ticket, thriving low ticket membership coaches
mhm,
not bash, but almost bash the whole high ticket world, and then vice versa. High tickets and don't do low ticket, that kind of thing. So there's a kind of this kind of online thing. I would say it depends on where you are on in your business journey and what you want to achieve. I think there's like, maybe not necessarily call that a mistake. I would just say, understand that not one size fits all. So I started, funny enough, with
mhm,
a low ticket membership. My first ever offer was a low ticket membership. However, I said it was a low ticket membership, but in fact, it was a high value coaching that
mm,
I masked in low ticket because I wasn't confident in myself as a
okay.
coach, and I was kind of hiding behind the fact that, okay, you know what, I used to low ticket membership, but actually I was coaching and I was charging really low because I wasn't really confident in that I could charge higher, right? So that was me masking, right?
Yes.
And so I felt at the beginning when I first started that I couldn't, or was I worthy enough to charge X amount? And so I did, and then I think I charged, I think it was $37. And I remember someone trying to price me down.
Oh. Oh,
And I
that's
was
so harsh.
it's like, it's $37. This is weekly coaching. Like, what are you talking about? And it was then I knew there was an issue with my mindset.
Mhm,
It was me. And I realized I was showing up as the wrong person because we shouldn't be having this conversation. Right.
mhm.
So my
Yes.
point to say there is that firstly, if you're starting out, it is fine to charge high ticket in the beginning. It is absolutely fine. If you're an expert in your field and you have expertise and you do transform lives, don't cower to low ticket because you feel you're scared that no one will actually buy from you.
Mm,
Get people transformation and charge what you're worth or what you feel like you want to charge, I would say. And then I would say when it comes to low ticket or high ticket, understand the market really well, do what works for you, because actually, even if you do low ticket, there are pros and cons on both,
yes.
right? For example, a low ticket membership, right? For you to make a significant income, you're going to have to really fill it with a lot of people. So you have to understand, well, how do I do that? It's not, it's all good and work. It's all good saying, oh, you know, I'm going to do low ticket product. I'm going to do low ticket because I can just, more people will buy. But actually, that's not always the case. If you
Mhm,
haven't got a good backing behind you, if you haven't got a good product behind you, you can't just charge low ticket and expect people to buy because it's low ticket. People are still going to, the energy on selling low ticket organically is similar to the high ticket sometimes. So like
mhm,
you have to really understand. I think what I'm trying to get across right now is just to really understand the market that you are in and what you want to
mhm.
embark on. Because with lack of understanding, you're going to make too many mistakes in the back. Think, listen to other people because they have different starting points. Someone might say, "Oh, do low ticket," because they already have a massive audience or they have leverage with ads or what have you. Someone might say, "Do high ticket," but they have, I don't know, they've got different experience behind them, right? So it's like understanding your personality, what you desire, and what will work for you and your business based on your goals. I really had to really, because for example, another one is like I follow a lady who she does like mini memberships. And I started doing that. That's a mini membership. So I do like, so mini memberships have been like $7 memberships, right?
Okay.
As a way to get people into a main membership. And again, it's like, it sounds good, But again, can you, as an individual, want to work 2 memberships, right? Does that make sense for you? And I realized that sometimes I'm doing things because I feel like, oh, that looks good for her. Maybe I can just do the similar thing. And actually, for your own brand, it might not be a good fit for you. So I think it's just about understand you, what you are called to grow, where your expertise is, what your time capacity is, really. The people you can leverage, your team you can leverage, because when it comes to memberships, low ticket, you need to have support with that. You doing it on your own at a bigger scale will be difficult, right? And so people say so many things online, and actually the nitty-gritty of it is, because another thing is, well, actually you might be selling all this online, but what's your profit margin? Yeah. What's the profit? What's the take home on that? You can say I'm making X amount of money. That's all well and good. It was as of this year, 2023, I stopped putting so much emphasis on my sales figures. You know, I did this amount of launch. That means nothing unless I have cash in the bank.
Yeah.
And I have profit take home. Like you could sign a client, they're on a payment plan, and they default. So what I'm saying to you is that understanding like just what you need as an individual and what works for you, and then what model works best for you, because there's so many different things you can choose. I could say you could do a high ticket membership, a high ticket course, a high ticket products. Even there's different things out there, right? Everyone's got there's different things you could do. So I hope I answered the question. I feel like I said a lot of things there.
No,
but
it was
the general gist of it is just really have understanding before you start. Don't just go on a whim. Understand it really well, understand pros and cons, and then tackle it from that point.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. And I think that especially here on Holistic Podcasting, we have done so many episodes on podcast monetization, like specific income streams, like deep dives into it. And so you can listen to all of those and ask the Holy Spirit, what is the best strategy moving forward? And I think what you teach, Buki, which is, like it just seems like a no-brainer, but we so often jump in with our own thoughts and our own opinion about how we should run our business, but we forget to ask the people that we want to serve. Like there's full market research. So can you dive into that? Because I think that'll be helpful as we're trying to navigate how to move forward.
Yeah. Oh, market research is my best friend. I talk about it so much. It's like, it's so important. You'd be surprised how little people do it because they think it's boring or it's not the thing. But actually, that's what's part of what marketing is. I was saying today, what is marketing? Marketing is the ability for you to identify the people that have the problem that you solve, understand them in such a way that you build a desire in them to want what you have. Marketing is about building a desire in people, right? So how do we build a desire if we don't understand who we're trying to build a desire for? We have to understand them. Again, that word understanding is key. And understanding only comes from research and speaking to them. So when I talk about research, we're talking about specifically, we talk about client research. We talk about what I call quote unquote competitor research, but more kind of like co-worker research, because it's not really a competitor, right? So someone who does what you do. So client research is really good in terms of really asking really good questions to people who are a good fit for your coaching program, right? So people who have the problem that you solve, asking good questions, finding out where they hang out online, finding out what their problems are, finding out how they articulate their problem. That's huge. Find out how they see their problem, because a lot of the times you as the coach, you're on the other side of the transformation. So you're seeing it from a different eye. You've forgotten where you were before you got transformed, and you're thinking and seeing things as the transformed coach, whereas the person in the problem right now has a different struggle. And so you have to be able to understand what they are articulating today so that you can speak to them from where they are right now. So it's about really understanding the language that they use, understanding how they communicate their problem, understanding what words they use to articulate their problem, understanding where they go to find solutions for their problem, understanding, do they even know they have a problem?
Yeah, there's that.
There's that, right? Because some people are trying to target people who don't know how they have problems. They're like, don't waste your time on that. You need to target the right people that know they have a problem, right? So there's all of those things. So it's about asking the right questions, smart questions, the right questions. I have a whole, I do challenges regularly. So whenever you're releasing this, I probably have one coming up. And those challenges, I go in on market research just to get people to kind of get started on how do you do market research? Because it's really important. And that helps you with your messaging, your communication. It's actually everything. It's so fundamental, foundational, that it shouldn't be missed at all, to be honest. If you're listening to this and you haven't done it, make sure you do it.
Yes, that was a great segue into how can people find out more about how to do market research and to do your challenges, because you guys, I'm not kidding. Buki is like one of the most valuable coaches that I have. Like, she's like in my corner, even though we have never met in person and I'm slowly working through her funnel. She's just always been my like go-to when I'm ready for some serious kingdom truth and how to market well and how to get leads and all of those things. It is such a gift to know you. And
thank you.
I really encourage anybody who is listening to check you out. So what is coming up for you this January 2024 or February?
So 2024, we'll be having a challenge at the end of the month. And so that you can go on, well, my two places to kind of really find me, mainly my website, which is Ekeowa.com. So my name, Ekeowa.com, and my YouTube channel as well, which I recently changed to Building Kingdom Businesses with Buki, or Kingdom Business Building with Buki. That's what I call it. Sorry, Kingdom Business. I forgot it, right? Kingdom Business Building with Buki, right? So that's what I changed my YouTube channel to. So you can find me on any of those, and there'll be definitely links to that, and also my Facebook group. My Facebook group is Wealthy Kingdom Focused Women Landing Dream Clients in Abundance. And so any of those places you'll find information about me and the challenge, because I'm very big on, as you know, Kristin, is just doing business God's way, but having a heart for big, like big business, big income, big impact. God is a big God, and let's do things big. And I just have that heart, and I've just been wired that way. Like, that's how God has wired me, to just have that vision but doing it also in alignment with God's will. So you're not kind of going ahead of him. You're doing it in line with him.
Yes. So spirit filled and encouraging. And you guys, yes, go check out all of this.
Thank you so much. Honestly, it's been a pleasure. And I love, how God has connected us together as well. It's been such a pleasure. You've been a help to me with my podcast as well. Like, right, I just released my podcast, I think earlier this year. I launched it. I didn't mention that. Kingdom Wealth Conversations.
You guys, check out her podcast too. We'll put that link down below.
I'm meant to be a marketer, right? Oh God. Kingdom Wealth Conversations. All you podcast listeners out there, go check out Kingdom Wealth Conversations. Right, there we go.
There you go. Awesome. Well, it's been a pleasure, and bless you and all that you're doing.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure being on. I appreciate you too.
Thanks for listening today. Hey, I want you to know that there is an opportunity for you and I to connect. I would love to do that. Find a link below and we can schedule a one-on-one free 15-minute consultation. I want to hear, where are you in your podcasting journey, and how can I help serve you and help you bring that kingdom impact dream into reality?